I'm over at Lowe's this morning using their high-speed Wi-Fi. Sam's Club kept timing out. I want to be careful I don't get any recognizable faces here on YouTube. That's a problem about hitting up a Lowe's on early Saturday morning. Everybody's heading over here to get their whatever material they need for their particular home project. Now I'll give Sam Club a lot of business, but I've given Lowe's quite a bit of business too. I prefer them over any other big box hardware store. This chick, we go over her. I keep getting people get recognizable faces on my video. The profile is kind of hard to tell who she is. She's not gonna get faces. She sees her face. She's not gonna see her face on YouTube. But anyway, let me show what I'm. There's Wonder Hussy. She doesn't actually have anything. I can put you something here. This is Ubuntu Studio download. See where we're at. It's got about 30 some minutes to go here. There's another one. I don't know what that one is. Some Sloss over in Sloss. That's a castle over in Europe. Vergessen Sloss. Forgotten castle in Europe. And then top one, 1,000 subscribers in 24 hours. I don't know how many of these individuals are talking out of their butt on YouTube on how to get more subscribers for your YouTube channel. I've watched tons of those, and some of them, if you got the channel, if you got the particular subject matter, they can make them work. But they don't really apply to me. With me, my subject matter is all over the place. I don't have one constant central theme. So that's been the reason my channel hasn't grown. I don't really have one particular constant theme. Yeah, that's Wonder Hussy. Now, there's 4 or 5 ticks that I have commented on their videos, and I try to spread out. I try to cover quite a number of, just on one tick, can't say I'm fixating on her, I'm stalking or anything like that. I don't want something like that. There's 3 or 4 ticks that, they're both, there's about 4 different Sarahs that are here on YouTube. There's Jeepsy, there's Sarah in Tune, there's Sarah Berkowitz. That's got time out. Hang on. Okay. Anyway, if you want me to comment, hey, you got to do a collab video with me. Let me take you back over to those sign here because they're. I'll probably go in there, use the bathroom before Ubuntu Studio finishes its download. It kept timing out over on Sam's Club. So I come over here to Lowe's. Lowe's, their Wi-Fi wasn't that fast before, but this morning their Wi-Fi seems to be pretty fast. So I don't want to get that guy's face on YouTube here. Of course, he probably doesn't care. Walked right in front of my camera there. But anyway, I remember this is 4 or 5 years ago. I was sitting over here using Lowe's Wi-Fi. I'd practically sit over here. I haven't for a while. But anyway, 2 gentlemen came up. I guess somebody in there had said that I sit here for a long period of time they couldn't figure out what I was doing. But anyway, 2 gentlemen come up and asked me. He said, are you the gentleman? Well, first they introduced themselves. I don't remember their names. I was on a first name basis for some reason. But anyway, they introduced themselves. They said, are you the gentleman we're supposed to meet here in this parking lot? Or no, let's see, are you the gentleman in the white pickup we're supposed to meet up with? I said, no, I'm just over here using, Lowe's high-speed Wi-Fi. I said, but good luck on finding that. Well, I know what they were doing. I said, good luck on finding the guy supposed to meet up with in the white pickup. Well, they were, Maricopa County vice cops. They were looking for drug dealers, and I got better things to do than to deal drugs. I've got better. If I were stupid enough to try to do anything illegal, I'm not going to do it in the parking lot where there's cameras all over the place, where people know me, people know who I am. I'm not that stupid. So, but anyway, let me get back to some of my downloads here. The reason I'm after Ubuntu Studio, I'm running Linux Mint, have for many years. Been in Ubuntu Studio. I've read it before. Ubuntu Studio comes with a bunch of software already bundled with it. I had trouble In the past, I have no problem with loading a video editor like Kden Live. There's 4 or 5 video editors that run with Linux. Well, Kden Live is cross-platform. It'll run Linux, Windows, or Mac systems. But anyway, I just love looking at Sarah there at Wonder Hussy. She's one chick that I wouldn't mind meeting up with for some collab videos. But she's probably too busy. She's all over the place. She's probably not interested in making a collab video with me anywhere. If we did something, we'd go out to the White Tanks and do that waterfall hike. If any other chick wants to do that waterfall hike in the White Tanks, maybe you want to go hike Squaw Peak with me, hey, we'll sit down, we'll figure out what we both find interesting for a collab video. But anyway, let me get back to Ubuntu Studio. It's got all kind of software bundled with it. That's reading it's a 7 gigabyte file. That's reading it's taking an hour to download. Anyway, my reloaded Linux Mint. Well, I saved the hard drive from this laptop that I had Linux on before. So, because there's several things I wanted to save on there. But anyway, this is another hard drive. Just wiped everything out on there. I want to get these people on YouTube here. But anyway, reloaded this on another hard drive, but I couldn't get several key pieces of software to load. So I said, well, it comes bundled with Ubuntu Studio. There's several pieces of Ubuntu that have that. I may just put that on another laptop, but I can use just to do video editing, which I don't do much editing. There's a few pieces of software that, a few pieces of video that I'll shoot on my camera, not on my phone, but I do like to edit, because I'm lazy. I don't do any serious editing, just I'm more loop videos together than really edit them, because I'm basically lazy. As far as it goes to, video production, other types of stuff, I'm not quite that lazy. I will spend the time to do quality work on, depending upon what it is. Let's see. Well, last thing I'm going to comment on is this preacher that I heard on the news will go to 5 minutes of commercials and run 3 minutes of news and then go back to 5 minutes of commercials. But anyway, during the 5 minutes of commercials, I'll periodically watch something else. This morning with this preacher on the. Let me get over this guy's head here. But anyway, this guy was saying something. I'm paraphrasing, quoting him here. He was saying that you can send money to my church as a guilt offering. Again, I'm paraphrasing. He said it's in the Bible. You can, instead of in the old days, they would do, they practice animal sacrifice. They'd take a bull or a goat or something and do a blood sacrifice. Of course, they would eat the animal later, which is, to me, that's fine. If you want to eat a food animal, sacrifice it and eat it, that's fine. But anyway, you can say instead of doing that, you can send me money as a guilt offering. It's in the Bible. And I thought, well, also in the Bible is where Jesus marched his way into Jerusalem, and the first thing he did was overturn the money changers, these tables. He called all these guys whores and profiteers. I don't know exact words that Jesus uses. Well, it's a translation from Greek and Sanskrit and Latin to 15th century English. But anyway, whatever Jesus overturned the money changer tables. It's also in the Bible. So I don't know quite why he didn't include that. But anyway, you can kind of see where the guy was going with that. That's kind of why I call myself spiritual and not religious. If anybody hasn't watched any of my earlier videos, I believe in a supreme being. I believe we have a soul, but I'm not part of any one particular major belief system. I'm also a New Ager. Have been since a little boy. They kicked me out of Sunday school when I was 5 years old for asking the chicks that were conducting the classes. Hope that's not copywritten. Anyway, they kicked me out of Sunday school at 5 years old for asking too many questions. That's the guy I am. Okay, I'll say bye-bye from Lowe's. Das Vistania, ich vaya con Dios. Das Leben ist nicht einfach. Das Leben ist ein Abenteuer. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Oh, I think I gotta include two chicks. One, I don't remember her name. She still works in there. She said she was from Quebec or Montreal. So I asked her, said, Parlez-vous français? Of course, she started speaking to me in French. And I had to tell her I only know a handful of words in French. You know, a few more words in Spanish and in German than in French. One other chick, she retired. But if you want to meet up with me, send me an email. You know where you are, chick. James Godman, 61 at gmail.com. And again from Lowe's, Auf Wiedersehen, vaya con Dios, mahalo, ciao, bye.